answering the question, do yogis achieve higher states of being? Well, it's a mixed bag, and it's not something that I would do, and it's really not something I would recommend in general, and I'll tell you why. Firstly, if you are doing constant meditation, you're shutting your brain off. Yeah, I know you hear a lot of nonsense about, meditation has helped people, this, the criminal, and all this kind of thing. But it's really shutting down your cognitive processing and your conscious mind, and that's never a good idea because you're open to entities. But it's not the worst thing in the world, meditation either. You know the way, like, look at me, right? T-shirt, jeans, arse hanging out of my trousers, right? Talking matter-of-fact language. I'm an occultist. I'm involved in magic. Do I wear a witchy poo hat with stars on it? Do I carry a staff and wear a cloak and stand on a hill going, I am the druid and this kind of things? I have power. No, you're most likely to meet me on the bus as you are on the pub, as you are in a megalithic site. I'm in this world, but I have a magical avatar that exists alongside my everyday life. When you go into what the thing with these yogis is, they it can be good to practice it now and again. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, there's a lot of wisdom in those magical traditions and spiritual traditions from the East. Even in Buddhism, which I'm not a big fan of, although Buddhism comes from Hinduism anyway. And the thing is, okay, if you want to sit there all the time being enlightened, okay, well, who's going to pay the bills? Who's going to, you see, then you become a parasite. See, it's like this, it's like the supernumeraries in the Opus Dei. They sit around all day doing work for the Catholic Church, writing letters to newspapers under false names, calling radio stations and so on, all this kind of thing. The only reason that they can do that is because they get a free house from the Catholic Church, a housekeeper who takes care of them, and all their bills are paid for. It's a parasitic lifestyle. And being a yogi is the same. So if you want to live in an ashram or a temple, you're going to have servants, and these are people who will be paying your bills and cleaning your house and doing all the things that you should be fucking doing, but you're not because you're too busy getting to states of enlightenment. You see, it's not good that way. We are manifested on this planet not to escape it. So in many ways, these ones who go into these extreme states of hyper awareness, meditation, transcendental states, they're not. They're doing what the Gnostics are doing. They're running away from this world, and that's not a healthy way. I wouldn't want to live that way. So, what do they achieve in these states of extreme meditation? And honestly, I don't know where they go. But the ultimate thing is, there's still somebody out there wiping their asses, cleaning their toilets, and taking care of them. And they're shirking on their responsibilities as a human being. And they're also parasiting off others. It'd be like me living in a cult compound with all these people who would serve me. Oh, the Grand Master Thomas. I'd have all these women lining up and giving me sex and washing my clothes. I'd have all these fellas out working, doing jobs and bringing all the money back to me while I sat there. And then at the end of the day, I would sit amongst all my people and give them my messages and tell them how wonderful my messages from the star gods are. I don't. I couldn't be arsed. I wouldn't fucking want to live like that. If you want that from me, good. I'll be down the pub. Couldn't give a shit what you want. But this is what we're up against when we talk about spiritualism and spiritual states. That it's very easy to say, oh, these people have amazing spiritual states about them, but you also have to ask yourself, what sacrifices other people have made to them in order for them to get there. Also, a lot of these yogis and things in these places. Now, I'm not saying all. I'm saying some. A lot of sexual abuse goes on, particularly with the Buddhist ones, of young boys. There's as much a problem with pederasty in Buddhism as in the East as there is with Catholic Church in the West. Just as much. And yet all these people think I'm a Buddhist now. I'm reaching enlightenment. I'm no longer part of the Catholic Church. And meanwhile, the yogi that they're actually, I won't say the yogi, but the Buddhist monk that they're adoring is either banging his wife or banging his son. So again, it's religion, really. That's what the problem with it. You're not meant to be religious, you're meant to be spiritual. When you devote yourself full time to it, you're religious, you're no longer a human being, you're an escapist, probably under the control of a demon for all we know. And if you're spiritual, you live your everyday life, but you see it in a magical context. You don't. That to me. That's how I like to think I reach transcendental states and, high consciousness states. But at the same time too, I want the slings and arrows and of outrageous fortune of everyday life as well. I want it all. I don't want just one thing or the other. And so that's why I'm not a big fan of it. Although what happens from that, I don't know. But also, I don't really care.